Okay, Mr. Baron, today we talked a lot about sectors building communities for investment in climates. What are your perspectives on that?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that in developing countries, as well as in developed countries, those challenges about CO2 reductions are clearly on the map, either through energy efficiency objectives and energy security, but for climate change in its own sake. In China and India, there are schemes that are being established to help industry clean up its act. And we see, in fact, through initiatives that are voluntary internationally, a lot of good practice that could be brought forward to these countries to help them move in the right direction. Sometimes we actually have to learn from them, and sometimes we can actually teach them something. The cement sector has moved along quite far in this area. In some cases, it's not just about the private sector learning from others, but it's also about governments introducing the proper policy frameworks to help these industries move in the right direction. And so governments could also be engaged through a sectoral approach to help move things in the right direction.
It almost seems like a sectoral perspective on this community issue is more fruitful than a national or nations going to come together.
It is more fruitful because it speaks to issues that are very current for these companies, as opposed to speaking to broader questions about equity, common but differentiated responsibilities and the like. What we see is that the iron and steel industry in China, or the cement industry in India, have the most advanced facilities in the world. They are more advanced than those in the US and in Europe in many cases. So they can also tell us a little something about their challenges. They are not in the spirit of thinking whether they need to move forward. No, they are moving forward because they have the newest technology. And in that sense, they're outside this question of equity. They're more about trying to deliver the goods in a way that's the cleanest as possible, because they know that the climate policy initiative is now pervasive, that those goals are being understood by the international community, and that they, as sectors, need to contribute positively to this.
Finally, what about the time length? When can this be a reality?
Well, you see it happening a little bit all the time. The question is, how strong are the domestic drivers for change? How strong are the energy efficiency goals that China might impose on their industry in the 12th five-year plan? How strong are the benchmarks that the Indians are imposing on the scheme that they call perform, achieve, and trade? The stronger these things are, the stronger they move things domestically. Now, the information that comes through international discussions among these sectors actors is something that will come through these, but it will be based on the demand that these countries and the sectors in these countries will have on the other side, on the Europeans, on the US actors, on the Japanese actors.
Finally, what do you think a report like this, building a climate investment community, what kind of input does a report like this have on these?
Well, I think it's bringing a lot of messages that we as economists and observers of these issues have known for a long time, but it's trying to put it in the perspective of the current political framework, which is a difficult one. And I think keeping our eye on the ball, so to speak, as to what the key components are going to be to solving this question is a very good one. That should be the end goals. We will move at different speeds. Different clubs might move at different speeds, but they need to be formed, because at the end of the day, this is how we're going to help progress internationally.